Hello, folks. Welcome back and Happy New Year once again. I hope you're all doing well. Let me just do a sound check really quickly. Happy New Year. Oh, that sounds brilliant. All right, so welcome back to the program. My guests today are Tian and Elka, not their real names, and they won't appear on camera. This is another one of our anonymous refugee interviews because people have concerns about loved ones elsewhere and about their mistreatment by fake news outlets, particularly in South Africa, but also here in the U.S. and in the UK, who are hungry for sensationalist stories, and therefore we try to protect their identities. So with that in mind, I'm going to change my background because I'm going to put purple up here, just make it look a little different here, and we'll get them on in just a moment. Before I greet them in here, let me fix this so I'm not distracted by it throughout this stream, because with their screen blank, it looks a little weird with my screen. There we go. How's that? That's better. All right, folks, Tian and Elka, welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
Morning. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure to have you guys here. So where did you wind up in the States? Which state?
We ended up in Nevada, Las Vegas.
Oh, Vegas, baby! Yes! Oh, my goodness. Must be rough out there with unemployment at 1.6% and that warm weather in the wintertime. Although, what's the weather like? It is wintertime. You feel cool?
Well, mostly we could walk with like summer clothes, short sleeves. It's starting to get cooler now, and it rained during the New Year and Christmas. So, yes, it's only starting to get cool now.
So when did you guys arrive?
9th of December.
Oh, you're recent arrivals. Okay, all right. So Las Vegas, did you in the wildest dreams, did you ever imagine you'd visit Las Vegas, let alone live there?
No, never. Never, ever.
No.
Not Vegas.
All right, let me be very clear about something so you guys understand this. Las Vegas is not America, okay? It's just in America, but it's not America.
Thank you so much. Just kidding.
Well, no, seriously, it's important to understand it because Las Vegas is a very different place. Things are very different, the way they work out there, the way the people are. It's an interesting place. It's a heavily Hispanic populated area, too, because so many Hispanics work in the hospitality industry out there in Las Vegas. But not that really matters, but it just adds a different cultural element to it than you'll find in many parts of America. So when did you guys first become aware of the program, Elka?
Actually, I came across your channel on the 1st of February, and I started listening to your channel, and then on the 7th when you announced it.
Wow, so you found my channel before the refugee thing. You must have found
Yes.
it. Was it because of Knobs and Kesey and I'm an ANC? Or was it just by
Actually,
happenstance?
It was by happenstance. I
Okay.
haven't because what I normally watch is totally different from any political or newsworthy channels.
Okay.
So this was only by chance that I actually came across your channel, and yeah.
Well, I guess I'm lucky then because it's not exactly Huisgenoot, so, a little something different.
Yeah.
All right, so you came across. Did it just popped up on your screen one day, or what? Because that was when I somehow broke the algorithm that been keeping me in shadow banning, and I went 15,000 subscribers 1 month after 4.5 years of just 20,000 subscribers. That was before Trump. A lot of people think that the refugee thing is what made the channel grow. You came, and this is more evidence of it, when I somehow got into the algorithm, the correct path, and it started growing. So I'm very grateful for that. Thanks for sharing that.
Yes.
All right, so you found the channel. Were you surprised on February 7th when I did that stream, and then what Trump did?
Yes, actually, I actually never thought in my wildest dreams that there will be a program for us to be able to leave South Africa, because we did try to immigrate with our children. Both our children have autism, and other countries don't want my children. Not that I feel like it's a bad thing. I do understand why, because they're afraid my children will be like. We will rely on the public health and lean on it too much when you have like children like mine for immigration. And so we left everything and decided, well, we must stay in South Africa. We must see what we can do there. And then when this program started, we like, this is prayers being answered.
Well, and in many ways it is for a lot of people. That is the case. People suffering from unjust racial persecution. And now we see political persecution as well, now that the South African government has shown its hand with the raid on Woodmead. For you guys, whereabouts do you come from in South Africa? Can you tell me that, Etienne?
Sorry, we're from Pretoria, Centurion area.
Oh, I love that place, man. Oh, that's I've been there many times. I stayed there at the mall where the Proteas during the Rugby World Cup when Denmark played Cameroon.
Oh, we're not far from there. About 5 minutes we stay from there.
Okay, well, a friend of mine is about 5 minutes from there too, so it might have been right down the street from him. He's the one whose home I'd left my wine that I'd gotten at Uppington and the satchel that the Sightlanders gave me. I carried it with me back to Pretoria, and I had gone to Steve Hofmeier's house for a braai, and we left, and I left my wine there. So he collected and took it to his house, and while I was in South Africa, I'm not going to laugh at his misfortune, but they broke into his home and they stole his TV and everything else. Fortunately, they didn't kill the dogs, and then they stole everything. They got down to the down by the creek or whatever, the riverbank there, and they left the wine behind. And I think it might have had something to do with the fact that it was burned into the leather. It said the Sightlanders, and it said Colonel Wyatt on there. And they, by the way, well, we don't want to mess with these guys. So actually,
like you said, the crime in that area is a nice area, but the crime is too much hectic, and especially when you get a nice area in South Africa.
Yeah, it's getting out of control. Yep.
It's getting like people say, like you're saying in Sandton, it's a nice place to stay, but the crime rate is high. Stay in Centurion is a nice place, crime rate is high. Like you said, but well.
So, Tian, did you guys have any difficulty with any of the racist laws, the 145 laws that are race-based? Did it affect employment or education or something, or services for your kids for their autism?
I've never received any services for my kids. I had to do everything myself with them. So I homeschooled them. It was better for them. They were bullied severely in school. So I took them out and I started to homeschool them. This was, of course, by black children. They were bullied. So we had our own company. So we started with a construction mafia. We started to having a lot of problems. And this last year was really tough. We lost a lot of contracts because of the construction mafia, and nothing. You can't do anything. Your hands are tied. So first they put in the laws, we can't enter the job market because we are white. And then we started our own company to just to survive. And then they cut your hands off there as well.
So the BE and the laws do affect you directly. You mentioned the mafia, which is something the government of South Africa is allowed to metastasize and become such a problem now in the taxi industry and the construction industry in particular. But you really can't do anything. So my question is, how are things being constructed now? Are people? I mean, you may know because you're affiliated. Are people who are actually building things? Are they just barely?
No, we
by?
were in. Sorry, sir. We were in the retail, so we did shops. We did like the tiling of shops and like closure of shops, and then they would come into the malls, and they would disrupt and they would demand they get the jobs. If they don't get the jobs, that's when they want to start burning the malls.
Or they sabotage your work sites and they steal your equipment, things like that, and harass your employees. Yeah, no, it's pretty sad. Was that if you can share, was that part of your argument against past persecution or your future persecution?
That was a little of it, not much. Ours was more future persecution because of our children. That was basically for their safety, and my biggest concern was what will happen to them if we are not there anymore. There will be no help for them. And with how things are going in South Africa, my fear is that because they were already bullied and they don't understand this, it was very difficult for me to see a future in South Africa for them. I just needed to get them out.
So your persecution wasn't simply based on race; it was also based on the fact that and I don't use this in a mean spirit, but please accept that. But your children are disabled to have a disability that they're being abused for and persecuted. So yours is a little bit different in that respect, where other people it's mostly race based, but you have a concern about the safety and welfare of your kids because they're being bullied because they had autism.
Yes.
So
because there's no help. Government doesn't help people with disabilities in South Africa.
So let me just take this a little bit further in this discussion. So you said children. Do you have a couple of children who have autism?
2.
Okay, so 2 children with autism. And your concern is that if something, gosh forbid, or look, we all are only on this planet for a certain amount of time. At some point, we'll unfortunately leave. And your kids ostensibly will still be alive, and they'll be left alone with no support whatsoever, being bullied and harassed because of their situation.
Yes.
All right. So again, this also is another interesting interview from the standpoint that it breaks the bank and destroys the false narrative about this program and all the false supposition that many South Africans have. The program is not for working age people to come here and be immigrants. We're not seeking employment for people. This is not about that. This is about people who are suffering from persecution. We're giving you succor and refuge. And yet again, we've welcomed people with open arms to come to America who have serious, expensive medical issues that are going to cost the Americans a lot of money. But we've done that. We've welcomed you, haven't we?
Yes. Very, very warmly. Yes.
So, I mean, there you go. You know, I mean, people come on here. Well, I have cancer. I can't come over. Who said you can't come over? Well, I need this. I need that. I have diabetes. Well, look, welcome to America. We've got a lot of people with diabetes. It's that's not a factor here. You know, I'm too old. No, you're not. We have an 88-year-old go-go who's come over. You know, we've got, you have a 6-month-old come over. It's not about age. It's not about income. It's not about employability. It's not about your health. It's about the fact that your life is in jeopardy. In the case of your kids, if you guys were, I mean, I don't mean to be morose, but if you went out and you were killed in a traffic accident on the N4 this past weekend, your kids would have been screwed.
Yes, they would have. That was my biggest fear. What will happen to them? I didn't have peace of mind that my children will be okay. So that was my biggest fear, and obviously the future prosecution because they are white.
Guys, you can't say, sorry, it's enough for constant. You keep saying prosecution. We got to be clear. It's persecution.
But okay. Sorry, persecution.
No, it's okay, but I've seen a trend of that the past 2 weeks where people keep writing to me emails saying prosecution. Prosecute is when you're charged with a crime as prosecution. Persecute is when you're unjustly mistreated. Okay, so I don't mean to be pedantic, but I just want to say because people people in the chat will start going, what would they be prosecuted for? Are they criminals? No.
No. Yes.
It's like watching what is that? What show is that? It's The Big Bang Theory when Wallace's mom there's a knock. Who are you, a sex criminal?
Oh, actually, good show.
No, Ma, it's just me. Anyway, sorry, I couldn't resist. I'm a Big Bang Theory fan.
No problem.
All right, guys. So excellent. So let me ask this question. You've been there for almost a month, about 3 weeks.
Yes.
And Las Vegas is a big place, Sin City. It's suffering a bit now because tourism is down significantly, and to a small measure because the bum-hurt Canadians can't get over on America now. We expect to have reciprocity in trade, and it hurts their feelings, so they decide not to come to America. Screw them. But no, seriously, it's had an impact on Vegas because a lot of Canadians go there. What's the mood like in Las Vegas? Is it kind of quiet or somber, or have you been around, seen anything?
It's actually busy. In New Year, we went to the one mall in the downtown area, it's near the Strip, and it was so busy they closed off roads. So it was quite busy. So I think even if the tourism is down, I didn't see it because it's really busy. For New Year's, it was really busy.
Well, that's good to hear because we're hearing a lot of bad stuff about Vegas. I went to Vegas a few years in a row because the Sevens tournament was held out there at Sam Boyd Stadium, which is actually east of town. It's a bit of a drive out there because of the robots, the traffic lights to get out there. It takes quite a while. But I went like 3 years in a row for the Sevens tournament. USA won back-to-back Sevens. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. And the Blitzbach were a lot of fun out there. But that's all over. They ruined it, moved to Las Vegas or to Los Angeles. I'm not going to Los Angeles for a Sevens tournament. I'm sorry. If I want to see homeless people, I'll go back to Africa. I don't need to go to Los Angeles to see it. So let me ask you this question. When did you first express interest in a PRM email? Did you do a statement of interest? Did you do intake questionnaire? When did you first get involved in this? I don't think you did an intake questionnaire because it didn't come out till December 4th, and you're already over here on the 9th.
Yes. So no, we did a PRM email only in April because I just wanted to get the ball rolling on our passports and unabridged certificates. So after I actually did the appointments, I did a PRM email, and then my husband was contacted on the statement of interest. He did it on the 20th of May.
All right, so you did both of those. Now the statement of interest, and then when were you first contacted by either RSC or the U.S. government? When did you first hear from somebody?
On the 8th of September.
Okay, so there's a pretty clear pattern of people who put stuff in May, not hearing for anything until September. That was the situation yesterday. So May, June, July, August, September. So 4 months before you heard anything. That's interesting.
Yes.
What was that like? Was it stressful? Were you concerned at all?
We were actually shocked. We didn't think we will be phoned because I know there were so many applications. So we just carried on doing whatever we did, and it was in the back of our minds, but we actually didn't think we will be contacted. We were in shock the whole time because they phoned us on the 8th, they phoned us again on the 9th, and then I think again on the 22nd, and then again on the 29th. That's when we had interviews, and we were approved on the 1st of October.
Well, it's pretty busy September for you guys.
Sure.
Yes, it was actually every time I was just shocked when I get the new correspondence. And we actually, for our medicals, they sent me the wrong person's medicals. You have this, they send you a paper you have to take with. They sent me the wrong person's medicals, and I said to my husband, what do I do now? Because I don't know if we're going to go. And so I emailed them, and they actually replied to me immediately, and they sent me my paper for the next day to go for medicals.
Well, it's fascinating that you replied and they responded immediately, because that has not been the norm for most people. There simply aren't people. I guess someone was waiting for that information. That's why they replied.
Yes. So I was very grateful that they did reply, and then we could go for our medicals and everything.
Well, it's pretty fortunate that they did that. So, I mean, for you, it sounds like it went pretty fast. Did you have to unwind all your belongings and your work ties and everything in pretty quick fashion? How long after you got your provisional approval did you get the notice, hey, you're flying on this date?
We only got our flight date on the 5th of December.
Oh, and you flew on the 9th. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, but we actually on the 3rd of November, because we had to give a month's notice, and in December the company that we rented at were closed, so they didn't do any intakes or going out rentals in December. So I had to give them notice in November to do the month's notice, and then from there we started to just get rid of everything, and we stayed with friends for 10 days basically, and then we got our approval
on the hope for winner.
So we didn't do it exactly like they asked, that you have to wait until you get your flight ticket, but it would have been a little bit difficult to get rid of everything and give notice when the company we rented from were closed.
Tian, you were going to say something?
Yeah, it was a bit. The last bit it's like gambling.
Well, it's appropriate you wound up in Vegas then.
Yeah, well, well, good call. Yeah, no. So what we did is I said to my wife, let's just get everything out, and we sleep on the mattresses. And when the lease of the 1st of December came, and I said to my wife, well, we just prayed, and the email will come, and then on the 1st we moved out, and and it was 5 days, and then the email came, and then after 5 days we went. So we were lucky, the lucky ones.
So you've been there for about 3 weeks. It's Christmas time. Lots of people on holiday, vacations, offices are slowed down. The services aren't as quick as they usually are, but trust me, light years better than anything in South Africa. Have you gotten a Social Security numbers and an EAD yet?
No, not yet. So our case worker went on holiday for 2 weeks. So we were here 1 week, and then she went on holiday. But she got us SNAP and Medicaid immediately in 2 days when we arrived. We got that already. And we are still in the hotel because it's a little bit difficult in Vegas to find accommodation for us because we're refugees. But I think they did secure a place for us. We're just waiting for her to come back. But we actually did our own appointment for the Social Security online.
Okay.
And then we just send it through to her because she's still on holiday. And my husband and I, we're a bit, we goers. We need to get things done. So we did the appointments, and our appointments is only for 27 January.
Yeah, that's a bit out. One of the challenges I've seen about Social Security, nothing to do with refugees, is that because of the turmoil this year with employees being let go and the government reduction in the staff, the Social Security Administration apparently is behind in Social Security processing, and not just getting numbers, but more specifically about benefits payouts that people filing for because you have to start collecting Social Security at a certain point. Everyone has to do that, and so that's been a problem for them. And one of the challenges they have, of course, that people seem to forget is that this is the age of the baby boomer. We are at the point where the baby boomers are all going on to Social Security. I'm the last of the baby boomers. I'm not old enough for that yet, but that day will be coming, and so they're still processing baby boomers, and it's the largest cohort of Americans is in that age group, and all of them are walking into or through retirement right now. So Social Security has a big burden with them, and that's what's going on right now. But it sounds like you guys have got your head on straight. But one thing you should know is that if your caseworker goes on holiday, there's supposed to be someone covering for them. They should have told you that. That's a shortcoming in their part, and I'm not happy.
There is one.
Okay, good.
Sorry, so there is one, but we were all waiting for apartments because they were waiting for the lady from the apartment complex to also come back. She was also on holiday.
Oh, yeah, they have no control over that if there's a place. Yes. Okay, got you.
Yes. So we're all just waiting actually for that, and then we will be doing the rest of the things. We've got our medical screening on the 14th, so everything is still rolling. It's just a little bit slower
because of holidays.
Yes, but everything is still they're still busy processing stuff and doing things for us.
Which of course begs the question, would you have preferred to stay in South Africa until January and then come over and your appointments right away, or are you happy?
No, we just needed to get out. After what happened with that raid, we were actually a week before that.
Yeah.
A week or two before that. Yeah. And we just had the feeling we needed to get out.
It was nerve-wracking.
While we were on the bus, we just wanted to just get us to the airport. Just get us to the airport. We were very stressed. The time from being dropped off and then getting on the bus.
I can understand that. It's got to be a very stressful time. Just relocating is a lot of stress. I mean, like I said, I've done it many times. I lived in 16 foreign countries, and one of them 3 times. So that's nearly 20 foreign moves. 19. It can be quite. And of course, it's 38 actually because you move back to the States each of those times too. So it's 38 times back and forth. But it can be really stressful, and that's and I was in uniform in a system that had a lot of support, and I didn't pay for most of my move. That was mostly done by the government, but not entirely. Now, for you guys, changing from where you came from to something completely different. I mean, there's nothing like Las Vegas anywhere in South Africa. Not even Sun City is even remotely like Las Vegas. It's a completely different world.
Yes, it's completely different, and it's clean. It's very clean. That was one of the first things we actually saw is how clean the streets are. Well, this is the areas we move in. And but it's big. For me, it's very big. I think Pretoria is a little bit bigger, but you don't realize Pretoria is a bit bigger because I think everything is so cramped in. And here everything is it's like far but big, more space.
Yeah, it's definitely spread out. Like I said, Sam Boyd Stadium, which is technically in Las Vegas, is like a 40-minute drive because of the robots to get from the Strip down to there. It's crazy, and that was the way to get there. So when I went for the Sevens tournament, you would go to one of the hotels. The buses would show up. You'd hop on the bus and you ride out there. I remember the first time I went out there, I was playing some music. I had a speaker with me. And I was playing some Afrikaans music, and all these people like, "Hey, Boca!" Yeah, they got a kick out of that. Anyway, a lot of South Africans showed up for the Vegas Sevens. I don't know if they show up for the Las Vegas Sevens, but I know I'm not showing up. So, let's talk a little bit about this. So, are you in a temporary accommodation now? You're mentioning apartments. Are you in a hotel or something like that, or what?
Yes, we're in a hotel at the moment. But very nice. It's really a very nice apartment. It's like a self-catering hotel. You've got our own washing machines and stoves so we can make our own food, but very nice. We actually have 2. So that's my kids have one for themselves.
Okay, so it's more like a studio, long-term or short-term, apartment rental or something like that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And there's plenty of those in Vegas. I mean, just like there's plenty of those in Santon too. But I guess the difference in Vegas is you're not getting the cockroaches you get in Santon.
No,
nothing.
Anyway, so so January, hopefully you'll move into accommodation. What's your refugee assistance officer been like? Were they very helpful? Were they on a vacation, and were they happy to receive you, or are you receiving any challenges there?
No, they are very nice. They actually all were also refugees. So our case officer is originally from Iran. So this was quite interesting, meeting different cultures as well. But very, very nice. They are really very nice. So there's nothing we actually can complain about how they treated us. They are really very nice, very accommodating. But like I said, because of the holidays, it's just a little bit slower. But it's fine because I think they're coming back on the 5th. So
Yes,
then
the
we
5th.
will be up and going again.
Alrighty, that's interesting. So the food, what's that like?
Oh, quite interesting. It's nice. Nothing that I can say that that's not nice. It's just a bit difficult for you to get spices that because now you have to try and see if with this spice will work, but you can't smell if this is a nice spice because I normally smell my spices. And but yeah, so we got some nice ones, and it was a bit of a it was a bit of a challenge for the kids because they are very picky eaters. Just to get them to eat something new. It looks the same, but just to get them to taste it, because my children, the packaging, they look at the packaging, and if it doesn't look the same, they normally don't want to eat it. But luckily, when we're in South Africa, I told them, listen, we're going to a different country now. They're not going to have the same stuff. You have to try. And luckily, they love the chicken nuggets. They love it. Thank goodness.
Well, the chicken nuggets, you're lucky if you're getting it from McDonald's, because the chicken nuggets here from McDonald's were breast meat, and then years back they started using all the chicken meat, and I quit eating them because I only eat breast meat. But I could still get chicken nuggets overseas, like in Europe and South Africa, that were only breast meat. But then the U.S. finally got their act together a few years back, and now it's back to breast meat. I mean, it's highly articulated, it's chopped up and pushed back together, but at least it's breast meat. I don't really care for the brown meat.
Yeah, no, but they are so particular with what they are eating. So this was a bit of a challenge for me because they only eat like 5 different things. So that was a bit challenging, but we did get them their nuggets, and we did get them the oven fries, and they are good to go now.
Well, that's got to be a challenge for you too. I mean, kids with autism, change isn't something that they handle very well, is it?
Yes. My son actually, it was a bit hard for him, the flight. So when he stresses, he stops eating, and he's already underweight. So I was a little bit I was actually very concerned about him, but I got him to eat, and that was fine. Then he actually, I would say in the first week, he started eating again, and so now he's okay.
Well, in fact, that was a question I want to get to, and since it's an apropos moment to get to it, as I said, kids with autism, change is not easy for them. Routines and repetition is what really helps kids with autism. The flights, I imagine, had to be very disruptive for them, and then, of course, the diet change and just being in Vegas, it's very different. Are they adapting well?
They are. They actually told me the other day they are happy they are here. I can see they are more relaxed. We don't have a routine yet, but I actually taught them that I will tell them in advance what will happen, and then they will be okay because they actually know what's going to happen, even if we're not in routine. Because of my husband's work, we had to adjust routines all the way, every day. And that's why I started just teaching them that I will tell you what's going to happen. Sometimes it will not happen exactly like that, and then they will be fine with it. It was just the eating was a big concern for me, but they are fine now. They are eating. They are happy, and they are happy to be here.
Let me just take something in the chat here very quickly. One of the people in chat said, my case is stuck on medicals. Stop, folks. Ignore the portal. It's useless. All it does is cause angst. People freak out. The statuses will change and be updated and go back and forth. Oh, but I thought my security was done. Your security is never done. Even after you're here in the States, oftentimes they're still checking your background while you're here, and they can send you back. So it's stop paying attention to the portal. All you're going to do is get yourself upset. All you need to do is just be patient and wait for them to get back in touch with you. And I'm still yet to hear from a single person who actually legitimately has been rejected by this program. Not a single person. I'm not saying no one's been rejected, but no one's come forth to say that, even privately. So people need to just calm down, relax, stop paying attention to the portal because it's become more of a pain in the ass than it's worth. Did you guys use the portal at all? Were you even aware of it?
Yes, we actually had a heart attack with the portal. So
there you go. There you go.
The security checks actually went back to in progress where it was actually completed. And I got a heart attack. And because we went, our status went from ready to depart to just saying refugee. Mm-hmm. And so I asked him, did they pick up something now that we forgot to tell them, or what happened now? So we did get a heart attack, but it came back 2 days later. Everything was everything was completed except the traveling. So it's sometimes they what I've heard is sometimes they just do a systems check, and then it will roll back the stuff, and then it will, after a couple of days, it will be back to completed. Or if they're just doing another security check just to make sure everything before you depart.
Yeah, and that was my advice, and that's your answer. Just followed exactly what I said there. Is that portal is something that should only be for internal use for the State Department. I don't know why they make it available to people, because all it does is cause all these problems, and people and they get some people a sense of entitlement. Well, I said I was done 3 months ago. Yeah, well, that doesn't mean you were done. So I want to ask a question here, and look, I'm not going to pick on you, but I do think it's kind of a silly question. I guess it just comes from an uninformed position. How will they accommodate the children that are Afrikaans? What do you mean? With language? Kids are like freaking rubber. I know someone that never spoke a word of English, went to first grade in an American school after having a German mother, and was speaking English fluently in 3 weeks and doing better than American students in first grade. So look, kids are very flexible. I didn't ask the age of your kids yet, but kids are flexible. The only ones that might have a bit of a challenge is, those ektabura, those boykies. Yeah, ektabura from the old Transvaal, those guys who never leave the farm.
Like my mom, she can't speak English.
Right, but she's not a kid. What I'm saying is the teenagers, if there's any of them out there that spend all their time on the farm and don't speak anything except English or maybe Tswana, they may find a hard time at the age of 16 going into a high school and adapting. But even them, I don't think it's a problem. Kids are very flexible. They're very malleable. That's why so many kids, unfortunately, are taught to be evil and taught to be racist by nasty adults. So it's easy kids aren't going to be a problem. I wouldn't worry about kids when it comes to learning a language. That is not going to be a challenge. So if I may, can I ask the age of your children? Are you able to share that?
Yes, my son is 15 and my daughter is 14.
Oh my goodness. Okay, all right. So you've been dealing with this autism for many, many years.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and I could see why you'd be especially concerned, because they're coming of age and they're going to need help. All right. So have you been able to, is there any programs that you've already been able to access? I mean, you've only been there a few weeks. It's Christmas time. I don't know if you've been able to do that to help the kids out.
Not yet, but they did tell us there are programs. So as soon as we get them enrolled in school, but this is all depending on where we stay. So we have to wait for our permanent apartment, and then they can, because it works like zoning. The school is it works with zoning. So when you're close to that school, that's where they normally place your kids. So they want to put us in a very great area here, actually the best area here, and they say it's very good. There's very good schools there. So we're just waiting for that, but they did tell me there are programs that they can start applying for us, for our children. I'm not even worried about that, because this is more help than I actually got any time in South Africa. There is no help in South Africa. Even the pediatric neurologists where I've taken them before in South Africa, it's a joke. They don't actually, I think it's about the money. It's not about really caring for the kids in South Africa, but here it's really different. They do care. You can see that they have compassion for these kids. And just that alone is 100 times better than in South Africa.
I can imagine. It had to be quite a financial burden on you, raising these kids for 15 and 14 years without any help and assistance whatsoever from the government or from society.
Yes. That's why we started our own business, so we can accommodate for all the costs. But then it became more difficult to even work for yourself.
Gotcha. Hey, folks, you're listening to an interview with South African refugees who've arrived in the States. My guests are Tian and Elka, not their real names, and they're also not appearing on camera for various reasons, which we allow anonymity. But thank you for tuning into this, and hopefully you're finding something useful from this conversation. They are in Las Vegas, Sin City. That's right. They're out there in Sin City. What's that like? I mean, if not to be too personal, but I'm just curious. It is Sin City. I don't know if you're people of faith, if that contradicts.
Yes.
I don't think it contradicts. I know lots of people of faith who live in Las Vegas. They don't partake in the excesses. Is that an issue for you or something that came up at all?
It's not an issue. We are Christians. We are actually very involved in our church in South Africa. We are looking here for a church. We're just a little bit out on the outskirts of Vegas, so now it's just a little bit difficult because everything is so far apart. But we are looking for a church, but we just don't go to the gambling places. It's your own personal choice, but it's not bothering us.
All the Uber people want you.
Yeah, but the people they are very nice here. So that it doesn't influence if you are a Christian or not. It's just stay out of the casinos if you don't want to go there, if it's against your religion. So we don't go there. And in any case, the noise and the lights, I don't think that will do good with my kids.
No.
So we haven't been to the Strip. I said to my husband, we will maybe go there during the day when it's not holiday, when there's lesser crowds, because that's a problem for them, crowds.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. Certainly, that's a lot of noise, a lot of movement, a lot of distraction, and it would be very difficult for them. I mean, it's difficult for anybody. People without autism walking on the strip in Las Vegas can be a bit of
to focus on.
It is quite a bit. It's a lot for people to take in. I actually enjoy the Strip, but then I don't gamble. I like to go for the shows, and now that they've got ice hockey there, I go for the Vegas Golden Knights. And of course, I've gone for the rugby, so that makes it worthwhile for me. But I don't really, like I said, I don't gamble. But it is fascinating. It's kind of like walking around a theme park. It's kind of like Gold Reef City on steroids.
Yes. When we went to that mall, it's a fashion show mall. We went outside of the mall a bit, and it's near Treasure Island. So we still want to go there, but it started to rain, so we decided to go to come back to the hotel. But we still want to go walk there, but it's something different. I haven't experienced anything like it, but it's nice. It's a nice experience.
So it sounds like it's 3 weeks. It's early stages. I mean, things could always change, but it sounds like you're adapting quite well, and you sound to be as if you're very happy that you've made it out of South Africa safely.
Yes, we are actually relieved just to be here. It's such a great privilege to have been able to be contacted, because I know there's a lot of people that wants to come over, and I'm just thanking God every day for this opportunity that we could get out and get our kids out.
Mad Max is asking if there's any other refugees of them. Yeah, there are a lot of refugees from South Africa who've gone to Las Vegas, including the original 59ers. I've never interviewed one of the 59ers, but I've been in contact with one of the 59ers in Las Vegas since that 59er first arrived there. And that's also one of the people who's helped me get in touch with some other folks. I would never ask that person to come on, and if that person ever wants to come on, I'll do that. But one of the 59ers has been in Vegas since May 12th. Others have arrived since then. Like Texas and a couple other areas, there are a number of these folks showing up. Wisconsin's another we're discovering. There are pockets. So there are exceptions. We've had a couple people that have wound up in Maine, and they're the only ones there. A few people in Connecticut, the only ones there. But most places, they tend to be places where they've already gone over. But we also I know of actually refugee that's in Alaska. That was a bit of a surprise to me. I confirmed that. A refugee from Alaska reached out to me. So guys, in the scheme of things, are you missing anything from South Africa yet?
No. Just loved ones, but not anything. Not the country. Nothing. No places. Nothing. I mostly stayed at home with my kids. We didn't actually move out of the house if my husband wasn't with us. Because they are always with me. I didn't want to move outside of our duplex that we lived in. So we're only missing family and friends. We had a lot of good friends there. So that's the only thing we are missing. Unfortunately, not one of them wants to come over. So that's a little bit sad, but it's fine. It's their own choice.
Well,
But yeah,
their choice may alter in 2026. Trust me, things are not improving.
yeah, yes. So that's the only thing. We're only missing some people.
Yeah, someone said, is Vegas not expensive? Well, every town is expensive, Monster Max. It's just a question of where you live. I mean, I could live in an expensive part of Harrisburg, believe it or not, but I don't. I live in a peri-urban place. Every place has expensive spots. Some cities are generally more expensive, like San Francisco and places like New York. But even New York, there are places that are affordable. You just have to get away from the center. Vegas is the same way. You just get away from the center, and you can find places that are affordable.
Yes, but also your per hour rate is higher than the other places that I've seen jobs here, because we already started job hunting, just to see what's out there. Your per hour rate is higher, so it will accommodate for the higher expenses. They are looking for us in Summerlin. They are looking for us for a 2-bedroom apartment there, and that 2-bedroom apartment is $5,600. So that's not a lot if you get a job that's like with $17 per hour, or you will make it. Definitely, you will make it. It's more than you will get in South Africa with a teeny tiny salaries, but you have to all these expenses in South Africa.
So I will caveat that by saying that for me, for rent, that's an astronomical amount. But I'll also caveat by saying that the last time that I made an hourly wage and I rented a place, I was making $3.35 an hour. So $3.35 an hour, $1,600 a month is not doable. But at $17 $17 now, $1,600 is something that's doable.
Yes. That's what I've did some budgets, and just to see what is doable, what is not. And the food are really not that expensive compared to South Africa. The food in South Africa is much more expensive for me. And we bought some little bit of snacks and stuff that we don't usually do in South Africa, because you have to look after every cent. So we did buy the children some snacks and some other stuff we don't usually buy. That's a little bit of a luxury for us, just to see how it tastes and everything. But no, I think everything here is doable. You just need to work hard.
Well, one of the things, Elka, that people complain about the price of food is because they're buying processed food. If you buy raw rice, raw vegetables, now vegetables go up and down because commodity prices and the winter seeds and stuff like that. But the bottom line is that when it comes to food, if you don't buy processed food, most things you can find at a reasonable price.
Yes, if you make everything from scratch, that is really not. It's really doable, and very, very cheap actually. Where in South Africa, your vegetables and your fruit are sky high. It's really very expensive. And meat, the meat is also a little bit expensive, the beef, but you can still do it. You can still buy beef, and since it's just me and my husband that's eating beef, it's not a problem. The children don't eat it.
Well, the beef is a particular issue that's a consequence of an intentional effort to destroy our beef industry and force us to purchase imports. They've been doing this for years, buying up ranches and shutting down cattle ranches. The American beef herd is the smallest it's been in over a century right now, and that's intentional. But not by the beef producers, but by the wackadoodles and the environmental crowd and politicians who are destroying our agricultural sector, and it's unfortunate. Making us buy beef from Argentina when we could get world-class beef here in America. I got to interrupt here for a second. I keep seeing newbie questions over here. It's just shocking to me that people are actually asking these questions that I've answered 85 billion times since February. Here's one. How do they determine placement? Please, if able to answer. Well, of course we can answer that because I've answered it a million times. How do they determine placement? We've even had refugees come on and explain to them that they believe they've wound up in the right spot based on their skills and also who they are. So they try to put you in a place that has, number one, absorptive capacity. We can't dump 50,000 people into Springfield, Ohio. The Biden regime did that, and now we have racial problems, and we have cultural problems, and we have issues in Springfield, Ohio, where they dumped 19,000 Haitians into a community of 41,000 people. So that's not how the program is supposed to work. So we disperse people in a place where they can be absorbed easily into a community that has a growing economy, that has low unemployment, that has a refugee assistance center that can support them. That's what we do. Now, we don't go out of our way to put people in Alaska that come from the Congo. We don't go out of our way to put people from the Congo into the Aleutian Islands. So what they do is they make the best effort. Now, you can affect that potentially if you have family or friends in America, or if you have an existing job or you work for an American company remotely and they give you an offer of employment on the side. You can tell them when you get interviewed, hey, I have a cousin that lives here. They're going to ask you anyway. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to go there. That just means they're going to make an effort to see if that person can support you or if they're willing for you to come be near them. And if they are, then that makes it easier, because the purpose for that is if you have a sibling that lives in Madison, Wisconsin, and you tell the interviewer that, they talk to your cousin, the cousin says, yeah, sure, they can come this way. I'll be happy to introduce them. That makes your transition smoother. Now, if you don't get along with your mother and she's already here and she says, I don't want them, then they're not going to put you there. Okay.
Yes, yes, definitely not. Yeah, I also think it's for the work, for what area you actually are skilled in, because there's a lot of construction in Las Vegas happening now.
Yeah. Well, in fact,
So-
that's part of it too. I mean, I implied
Yeah.
that, but I didn't state it clear at the beginning. So, for instance, the Stoltz family told us, because he's worked in piano repair and piano
Yes.
tuning, there are firms in South Carolina where they've been located at that are in that industry, and that's one reason why I got
Yes.
put there.
Yes. So we were in construction, and there's really a lot of construction happening here. So we will definitely not have in any case, we will not have any difficulty finding a job.
No, you should, generally speaking, in Vegas, you should always be able to find a job. The question is, it may not be
Yes.
in your sector or the field.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But there are always jobs in Vegas. Unemployment's always been low there because of the nature of the tourism industry and the growth and the constant. I mean, look, there are so many famous hotels that no longer exist in Vegas because they were built, they were used for 20, 30 years, they were torn down, a new one went up in its place. It's just crazy
Yes.
how they come up. And I mean, iconic hotels are gone like that. And then other hotels are allowed to just hang around forever, like Circus. I think that thing should have been blown up years ago. It's a dump. It's a terrible hotel. Anyway, but it's amazing. I don't know if you've had a chance to get around the Strip, if it's so easy, if you've done that because you sit with the kids and crowds. But if you go on the main Strip in Las Vegas and you go a little bit north, and you go one block in, there's construction sites, there's empty fields, and then right next to it's a
Yes.
gleaming multi-billion-dollar hotel. It's bizarre how that city. It's like everything is focused on the Strip, and if you're not making money, you're getting torn down, and something's coming in your place.
Yes, we are actually in one of the hotels with a casino next to it. So that is a little bit farther out. It looks like a new development, but it's been here a couple of years. But around us, it's a lot of open, desert. So everything's a little bit far away. We haven't been to the Strip. We will do that later on, not now. I'm waiting for just to get a little bit more settled with the kids.
Yeah.
And when it's during the day and a little bit less crowded.
Yeah. So let me just respond. So Craven Sam says, is the person whose question I answered. So thank you so much for your patience and answer. No, Craven, it's my pleasure. It seems like you're new, that you haven't been following this program. This is new to you, which shocks me that people are still discovering this. But, we do our best. We have a weekly program every Sunday evening for South African, Sunday afternoon my time, in which we call it the Cafe Clutch, and I talk and I answer all your refugee questions. Also, on any of my news broadcasts, after I've finished discussing the news analysis, you can ask any refugee questions if you want. I'll answer them as best I can. And also, these interviews are picking up. People are getting confidence to come on camera now, and we really appreciate that. Plus, the number of refugees that come over has increased significantly. And we do this. Look, I don't get anything other than this than the use of my time it's being taken doing this, but it helps dispel the lies and myths of media. Like in this interview, we've already talked about children with learning issues, with developmental issues, and they've come over. That wasn't an impediment to them coming over. In the last interview with Ben and with Lynn, we talked about a number of issues, but with the Stoltz family, we broke the story that no one seems to want to pay attention to, is that we actually have South Africans who are black who've come over as part of the program. We also have people who, someone has a European passport and still came over under the refugee program. A whole host of things we broke in that story, so it's fascinating. But anyway, folks, if you want to learn, guys, I'm a little sick of hearing about the Morning Bota clip. Could you stop chatting about that? That's getting quite distracting and annoying. If you want to go watch Morne Bota, then go watch it and don't be here. This is not about Morne Bota. So if you want to spread Morne Bota chats, just go do that elsewhere, okay? I'm getting a little tired of it. It's coming up every 30 seconds here in the chat, and it's really starting to become annoying. I'm sorry. We're here to talk to Tian and Elka and not to talk about that. There's no confirmation of that anywhere whatsoever. No U.S. government release on that statement that he's put out there. So I don't know any more information on it. You're not going to hear more about it here. You want to hear about it? Go watch Morne Bota. Sorry about that, guys, but it just gets kind of annoying when people do this.
No problem.
Anyway, so what was the biggest disappointment, Elka? Was there any disappointment in this program whatsoever?
No disappointment. It's just the waiting can get to you. Because especially when they start phoning you and you don't hear anything, it feels like an eternity and until they phone you again. But it is not. It's actually very fast. So I do understand when people get frustrated or impatient, but you just need to be patient. It's very difficult. I'm not a very patient person. So for me, this was very difficult to be patient. But thank goodness we are here. The wait is over. It wasn't very long. Other refugees wait years to come over. So this really wasn't very long. So there's no disappointments, just happy and just so grateful to be here.
Well, that's good to hear. I suppose what we have to do is circle back in about 6 months and see if you have any disappointments, because life isn't always roses and primrose paths. I mean, there's bound to be something. But for the moment, you guys are pretty darn happy. You have no regrets. The only thing you're missing is some family that have stayed behind. And as I said, things are not getting better in 2026, so I would be surprised to see them change their tune if there's still an opportunity.
Yeah, we hope so. We really do hope so, because when you were there and you came here, it's totally different, but it's really much, much better, 100 times better. I will not go back. I never want to go back.
Yeah, no, I got this. Sorry, the chat, I'm looking over here. I don't know what's going on. We got somebody that keeps coming in the chat and saying people are saying things that they never said. And then anyway, it's guys. I mean, I'm sorry to be distracted by it, but it gets a little frustrating. People hearing what they want to hear. It seems to be very prevalent with South Africans. I thought it was something Americans had, a disease they had, but South Africans seem to have a disease where they hear what they want to hear. You say something very clearly, and then they just run off on a tangent and say something completely different. It beggars the imagination, but it's happening in the chat right now, so it kind of distracted me. All right, so what about disposing of things? Was that a challenge? Getting rid of things? Did you have to get rid of cars or a car and your property and your business? I mean, how did that unwind?
We actually were very lucky. Our house, we sold our house in January. It was obviously not in Centurion. We sold our house. We went to my mother-in-law's house for 3 months, and then we got the duplex. While we already knew about the program and everything. But no, we actually gave most of our stuff away. I believe in blessing other people, because God always blesses us. So we know it was easy to get away from it, to give everything away. Was not difficult for us, but that's just how we do things. I don't know about other people, how they will do their things. But no, we still have a car, but we are paying it. So we have money for the car for a couple of months until we start working, and then we'll just pay money in that account to keep on paying for the car until we can settle with the bank.
You still have a car that's left behind in South Africa, you mean?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
And you have a bond or a debt on that you have to pay, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so that raises an interesting question there too, Elka, because people keep asking this question: what about my debt? What about my bond on my farm or my house? You're still liable for that. That's your responsibility. It's just like when expropriation without compensation comes for your property, you still have to pay the debt. They don't care. They don't give you money for that. That's your responsibility. So you're being responsible, South Africans, and you're paying your debt off even though you're here.
Yes. No, we will pay that car if the time comes when we can sell it and we can break even with the bank, then we will sell the car. But we will keep on paying until that time.
Well, that's very responsible, and that's what I encourage people to be responsible. Like I said, whether you have a debt in South Africa or not has no impact on whether you participate. Hang on a second. Let's go on with my. There's supposed to be some suction going on here on my desktop. It's sticking. But that has no bearing on whether you become a refugee or not. But that doesn't obviate your responsibilities, and you don't want to start your new life being a person that has a court action against them back in South Africa for being in debt. So you want to take care of that.
Yes, and I wouldn't have been able to sleep if I just left everything. I can't do that. I signed for it. I said I will pay it, so I have to pay it.
Yeah, it's a promise that you've made, and you're honorable people, and you want to fulfill your promise.
Yes.
All right, cool beans. Now, I doubt that, maybe I'm wrong, I doubt that you have this, but have you been able to secure a car there in Vegas yet?
No, not yet, because we decided to pay off our debt. We didn't have a lot of cash to bring over, but that's fine. I'm sleeping very nicely because I paid all that debt, and I left a lot of money for the car to go off for a couple of months. So, no, we don't have a lot of cash. But we will work, and there's something that you call car lease here that we don't actually really, I don't think you have it in South Africa. You can lease a car, and I think after 3 years you can buy the car, the full amount that's owed still, or you can give it back and take another lease. So we will probably do something like that as soon as we work and have credit or have something, because you don't have credit. It's a bit difficult. But we will see when we get there.
Well, that's actually an important note there. This came up with Ben and with Lynn yesterday, talking about leasing cars. South Africans, I guess, are a bit surprised by that, but we've have car leases that were traditionally for businesses who would lease cars from dealerships, but many years ago they became available to the average consumer. But a word of caution on that: you have to have thousands of dollars up front, typically $3,000 to $5,000.
$3,000, yes.
Yeah, it depends on the model of car. Obviously a Mercedes, You're going to have to put more down on, but you put that up front. The maintenance is done by them. You just have to take it in, and you lease it for typically 36 months is what it usually does, and you have a monthly payment. So it's a question. It's a question of whether you want to own the car outright or you want to lease it. And look, the bottom line is when you buy a car, if you have a car payment on it, you don't own the car anyway. The bank does. People need to be cognizant of that. If you miss a payment, they can take the car away from you. So it's important to remember. So it's a question of how you want to do it. For some folks, a lease works very well. A friend of mine has himself a $148,000 Mercedes electric car. He's leasing it.
Yes, it's much more doable when you lease the cars because the payment per month is a little bit less. I think it's a great idea just to see which cars will do best for you. And then it's not that you have to pay 6 years and stuff like that. But we think we will opt for that. We've obviously just need to get the down payment first. Mm-hmm. And then, we will do that. Because in Vegas, you do need a car. Everything is very widespread. The buses, everybody say the buses is okay, but there's a lot of delays. Yep. So at the moment, a car will be the best.
No, and that's a good point because people have been saying public transport in other places has been very good, but in Vegas, it can be a little dicey with especially with the flow of tourism. When it picks up, buses can be delayed a bit longer. It can be a problem. Now, I found in Vegas that the Uber and Bolt work pretty well, but they're a little pricey.
They are. We used Uber some couple of times. So, yes, that's the other thing. I had to use Uber to get to a Care Now facility because I have contact dermatitis and it flared up here in Vegas quite bad. And you don't have to make an appointment. You just walk in. And I think it was not 10 minutes. And I was helped. I was already on my way to Walmart where they sent the prescription. The next day, they followed up and phoned me, "Are you okay? Is the medication working?" And I'm sorry, never ever in South Africa have I ever experienced this kind of service.
No, it's definitely the case. So I have an update, folks. Just to let you know, the Stoltz family is on their way to Pennsylvania.
Oh, well done. Yeah, we've actually flew with them to New York, and then they went on their separate flight there.
Are you serious? So you know who I'm talking about. You met them.
Yes, we met them. We're actually, my children don't eat the sandwiches that the IOM agent gave us. And so I asked them, would you like them? Because I don't know what to do with the sandwiches. And then they said, yes, fine. I could give it to them. So it was nice.
I need to deal with some administrative stuff. Charles Argo said, tell them they can get Biltong from Biltong USA. Been a member for 18 months. Thank you for that. There's another person that found the channel long ago, long before the refugee thing. And then Inkwell Odyssey gave 100 Rand super chat saying, thank you, Colonel. You're amazing. And so are all those that do interviews. Well, I thank you for the kind words. And I'm very grateful that people take me up on the opportunity to do these interviews. Each one of these interviews should help settle people's concerns in one way or another. And the fact that a lot of people just discover the program because the shadow banning around 10 months after the fact and they don't know anything about this, they're learning about things. What I would encourage people to do, everybody, is go back and watch every interview. There's over 20 of them now, from the first one with Thea in Linwood Bridge, when I did that back on May 10th, I think it was, before she flew to the States, and released it after she arrived. Start with that one and work your way through. You will see how people have dealt with this program, how they've adjusted, how the program has changed over time, and it will answer many of your questions. Today, we're talking about kids who have challenges with autism and how that relates. And yesterday, we were talking to folks about how things are going well for them in Wisconsin. We've talked to people all over the country who've come from South Africa. We've talked to coloreds. I forgot to mention I've had coloreds on the program before, and we have not had Indian on the program, but we've had coloreds, we've had black and white South Africans who've been part of the program. That's why we do this, and hopefully it helps people put their mind at ease and explains and answers many of their questions. So, guys, I'm not going to hold you to the same standard I've forced the Stoltz family into. You are not required to drive to Pennsylvania to visit me, okay?
We maybe sometime in the future when we have a car or we're working and everything is great, we can do that.
Well, I'll tell you this much. If they get their head screwed back on straight and World Rugby brings the sevens back to Vegas, I'll be back in Vegas and we'll have a braai with all the refugees out there.
Yes. There's not a lot of us yet, but yes.
And we also eat braaibroodjies with no onion.
Oh, yes, my kind of people. Braaibroodjies with no onions.
Yes.
That's fascinating. Armand Fillon just sent me an email, interesting email, 14 Rand. Thank you for that, Armand. Okay, guys, so how was Christmas? Was that a little awkward? I mean, you just got there. Did you have a Christmas? Were you able to put some kind of tree up? Or did you celebrate? Did you go to church? I mean, tell me, Elke, a little bit about your Christmas experience having just arrived in a new country.
Okay, so we actually celebrated Christmas with another family that's still in the hotel with us, South African family. So we had a nice big lunch. We both cooked and had a nice big lunch. We didn't do the Christmas tree and presents and stuff. I told my children I would get them phones because this helps them to relax and so on. And it's very cheap, by the way. The phones are ridiculously cheap. So I got them phones for their Christmas, but we didn't have a tree, but we had a nice lunch and we had a nice visit with the other family. And now again for New Year's, so we are starting to become close friends with them. It's nice. I think they're going to put us all in the same apartment complex, so it helps. And my son and their son became friends.
All right, so I'm sorry. It broke up on my end. I think it was clear for everybody else. I had a little wire problem here with my headset. Who is this you're talking about now? Are these other South Africans or just other refugees?
Yes, another South African family that's with us staying in the hotel.
Okay, all right. So they're also recent arrivals.
Yes, they were actually before us.
Okay. Have you linked into the greater refugee community in South Africa, like the 59ers that I talked about earlier, without mentioning any names?
Yes, I haven't met any of them. I've only met this family. So we're all on a group. There's groups by state. So I'm on the group and I'm on the bigger refugee group. I haven't had any contact with them, but we did chat on the group. So that's with the other families that are here.
All right, Max just gave a 35 Rand super chat. So if you don't hear it on Colonel Chris Wyatt's channel, then don't believe what you hear. Your ears can hear, but it takes ears to listen. The last part's true. Whether I'm the only place to find information, I don't know if that's true, but thank you for that endorsement. I appreciate that, Max. Yeah, look, a lot of people jump the gun. There's a lot of sensationalism on social media. A lot of people run off and don't run things down. One of the things is, I'm sorry, Tiana and Elke, for a moment for me to digress here, but one of the things I definitely bring to this program and bring to my analysis is that I am an intelligence analyst and a professional who doesn't jump the gun and run off. Like, for instance, people are talking about this morning, both of it right now. I have no independent confirmation that from the U.S. government that such a thing exists. I don't know what it's about, and so I'm not not reporting on it. And that's why I ask people to quit discussing in the chat. If you want to watch the video, go to Morning Bloaters channel. To me right now, that's just rumor. It may in fact be fact. He may know something that the rest of us don't know. And if so, brilliant and bravo and bully for him for announcing it. But I'm unfamiliar with it. I've never heard from the guy. He's never contacted me once, so I don't know what he's got. Until I can get information to verify things, or I can make an informed analysis with a little bit of information available, then there's really not much I can say about it. And that's why my information has been consistently accurate, why my predictions are oftentimes on the spot, like this prediction in late November that we would see no refugees coming over probably from the 15th of December to the 5th of January. And while I had no information to indicate that, I do have experience and I had enough background in it that could make that prediction. It was pretty accurate. 17th December was the last flight over, and the next flights will come over shortly. And my dates were pretty much on the money. So sorry about that. I'm not tooting my own horn there, Tiana. I'm just trying to point out to people that one reason why people trust me is that I don't run off and just make instant decisions and freak out. People always want to jump the gun. That's because he was white while he was beaten up. No, not necessarily. Anyway, so go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's why we stick to your channel, and we followed everything that you said on your channel. We kept very quiet. Mm-hmm. Our families actually didn't know that we were coming. That we only informed them when we were here. I just felt it was the safest thing for them and for us to just get out. And even now, I don't tell everybody. It's only my family that knows, and I did tell them to just keep it to themselves. Just I'm worried about them, not about us. We are here, we are safe, but I'm worried about them, and I've got a big family, so I want them to be safe. But we kept quiet, and I only told my one sister, I think, a couple of days before we flew.
Well, that's tough. I mean, it's last minute. I know some people had family in the Western Cape, and they were able to fly to Cape Town where the grandmother lives, and so they were able to tell the grandmother the week before they left because they relocated down there to fly out. But then, and she's like 90, so that was tough for them. They'll probably never see her again, unfortunately, unless she comes to the States on holiday. But at 90, that's a tough trip to take on that flight.
Yes, it will be a very tough trip. Yes.
So how was that on the flight with the kids with the autism? Was it tough for them on the flight, or were they okay?
They were okay. My kids are normally quiet, very quiet, especially when they're stressed. It's actually a miracle we got them on the flight because they didn't want to fly. But I tried to prepare them when we got the provisional approval. I tried to prepare them that we're going to fly. It's going to be a very long flight. It might be uncomfortable. So I just tried to prepare them, and actually the flight went very well, but it was very, very long because the first flight is 16 hours, and from there it's 5 hours and 21 minutes again.
Well, so it's not really 5 hours. You lose a couple hours, so it seems like 5 hours.
It's actually
three hours and 25 minutes. Yeah. It's 3 hours and 25 minutes from the East Coast to Las Vegas. The thing is that you lose 2 hours because you wind up in the Mountain or Pacific time zone, depending what time of year it is.
Yes. So
it feels like that.
The last flight was a bit hectic because then you didn't want to sit anymore. You were tired because we couldn't sleep on the first flight. But it actually, my daughter could sleep. My son can't because he's very tall. So he couldn't sleep. So the flight was a bit rough for them, but they were okay now. They're fine now.
Someone asked a very apropos question, and I haven't asked this to any of the folks I've interviewed recently. What was the interview like for you? Was it stressful when you went in-person interview?
It's stressful. I always stress. So even if I had to go to the shops, I stressed because I have to get in the car and get to the shop. So I'm a stresser. I think I like stressing. I don't know. But yes, so for me it was quite stressful. But when I was in the interview with the USCIS officer, she was actually very nice. And because she was nice and understanding, she actually calmed my nerves a lot. And I could actually articulate what I wanted to articulate. And so that actually helped me a lot, which was actually quite strange to me because the other people said they felt like they got grilled. But I did not feel like that. She was really calm with me and asked me a lot of questions, but very, very nice.
All right. Something I want to address in the chat now, too, that's become consistent over these recent interviews. People come in and ask questions about the interview because you just show up. That's very inconsiderate of rude to people ask a question that is answered 45 minutes ago. Please watch the entire interview. It's not very fair to the guest. It's not fair to me and fair to people in the chat for people to ask the same questions over and over again. If you just tuned into the interview, thank you for showing up. We're very grateful for you tuning in. But please have the courtesy and consideration to watch the interview from the start. The questions being asked in the chat for the past several minutes have all been answered by my guest at least one time in the past. It becomes a bit pedantic and annoying. So please be considerate and go back and watch the entire interview. It's very me. Answer my question. And you just arrived. That's very rude. I'm not going to call anybody specifically out, but it's happened several times in the last 10 minutes. I'm going to ask people to have a little consideration and watch it from the very beginning. Okay, sorry about that, Tiana Elka, but I've had to address the chat several times today, unfortunately.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so 2026, what are you looking forward to?
We're looking forward to a calmer, calmer life where we can just relax a bit and just don't have to look over your shoulder every time, or just be like in South Africa. It's just different. You are always aware of your surroundings all the time, and it's actually tiring. That's where the point I was at before we came over. I didn't want to go out of the house. It's just too much drama and too much stress on me to be outside and always be on my guard. So we're looking for a calmer life, but working hard and actually enjoying outside. I can't wait to go on trails. I can't wait to be outdoors. I think this was the perfect time for us to come over because I was really, really getting depressed just staying at home with the kids. But it was the safest choice I had for them.
No, I get that. That makes all the sense. I have a quick question. Is Tian vaping?
No.
Oh, it sounds. I think
our
I thought.
sinuses.
Oh, okay. It sounds like Darth Vader's in the background. Luke, I am your father.
No, got a valve. Well,
His sinuses flared up a bit here. So Las Vegas, I will not say Las Vegas is the best place if you have sinus problems and like skin problems, but it's still fine. We will take it any day over South Africa.
Okay, I would have swore Darth Vader was in the background there. It really sounded like that for a second.
I'm sorry about that.
No, don't apologize. But it sounded like you were vaping. That sound when people are vaping.
No.
You're just struggling to breathe.
Smoke.
You're just struggling to breathe. I appreciate that. So just a moment ago, he deleted his message. Let me see if I can find it. But gentlemen, was it Hein? I think it said Hein USA said that lots of people are reporting on this program, but you're the only person that cares. Well, that's very kind of you, Hein, and I appreciate that. I don't know. Let me ask Tiana Elka. You're not on camera, so you don't have to be worried about if I see your face or not. Do you think I'm the only one that cares, or I actually care?
Yes, you're actually
for sure.
the only one that cares. That's what I felt so lucky that I actually came across your channel, and that's why I told my husband that we have to do this interview just to say thank you. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have known about the program.
Wow, that's a big burden. I'm glad that happened though. So you guys still watch the program, yes?
Yes. I'm struggling with the times, so I have to get the times correct now.
Oh, okay. Because you're not struggling because of the hour. You're struggling because you're trying to figure out what time of day it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Well, for you guys, it's 2 hours behind. So my noon is a 10 o'clock broadcast, and my nighttime at 10 o'clock is 8 in the evening, which is almost perfect. It's prime time.
Yes. So, and with the jet lag, I actually was struggling a week to get my hours or my body to realize that this 2 o'clock is not the time to stand up or to get up. So that was a bit of a struggle, but I've got it under control now. I'm waking up at 6 now.
Okay, well, I mean that's helpful. I mean, it's always good to have a routine. It makes a huge difference in life. I mean, I have this thing. I need to put my keys in the same spot all the time because I'm like Microsoft, except I can multitask. They can't, and so my head is always going this way, that way, doing 35 things at once. And if I don't put the keys in my wallet in the same spot all the time, and I leave it elsewhere, that's a bad habit because I'm like, where the heck are my keys? Where's my wallet?
Yes, I'm exactly the same. I have to put everything in the same spot, otherwise I don't know where it is.
Well, Equal Odyssey has just said the following. He sent 140 Rand super chat. Thank you for that. Clouds are gathering. Maybe not in Vegas where they're in the desert, but they're gathering here. Children on the autism spectrum are amazing. All of us normal people will never understand these children and how they will change the world for the better. Thank you, Elka, from a parent who has an Asperger's son. Okay, Equal Odyssey has an Asperger's son.
Yes, yes.
Well,
yes.
people with Asperger's are very interesting. Many of them very high performing, but they're kind of quirky.
Yes, yes. I think my daughter is like Asperger's more, but I don't know the terms because they changed the terms because he was high functioning. Now I'm only supposed to say he's on the spectrum, and she was the broader spectrum for her was pervasive development disorder, but Asperger's is under one of the categories under pervasive development disorder. So I'm not too sure exactly. That's what I'm hoping to find out here because I had them in South Africa at 2 different pediatric neurologists, and they just keep on telling me they're on the spectrum. So I'm not quite too sure what they are.
Well, what I was going to say to you there, Elka, is now that you're in a place with proper medical care, that perhaps once they get seen and you go through these medical you're talking about, maybe you'll get a proper diagnosis on where your kids are at.
Yes, I'm hoping for that so I can better understand because they are quite different. Even though there's some similarities, they are quite different.
Okay, well that's interesting, and I hope that they do adjust well and that they find Las Vegas to be interesting. So far, I mean, again, I think it's a bit unfair, but I'm going to ask anyway because this is coming up over and over again with a lot of people. We talked to Ben and Lynn. They're like, Wisconsin's not for us. We'll be moving as soon as we get adjusted. Does Vegas seem like a place you might want to stay?
We're not too sure. This is quite early, but we actually, I think with the type of vibe in Vegas, it might not be for us. It's a fast-paced environment. So we are more on a slow pace. It's better with the children on a slower pace. And we might not. We will see what the future holds. But for now, we are here, and I don't want to actually move them a lot because it disrupts them.
Yeah.
So I don't. Maybe when they're done with schooling, we can do that. And if we want to, but for now we're gonna just see how Vegas is and how it goes, because I don't want to disrupt them again. Not for a while.
Well, I appreciate that and understand where you're coming from. That is a challenge. I don't have any children with autism or developmental challenges, but I do appreciate it. And I've of course had with military, we have families that have to deal with that. We have the Exceptional Family Member Program, it's called. And in the military, that determines where you can actually be stationed. If you have an exceptional family member that has physical or mental or psychological issues that have to be dealt with, there are only certain places you can go. In other words, you have to have the care there for them. So it limits where they can be assigned. So, for instance, in Germany, we have some family members or some military can only be stationed in places where we have a military hospital nearby, like Landstuhl down in the southwest part of Germany, because we were not going to put your family in a position where you can't get the proper care. So it does have an effect on that. I got a super chat.
Yes.
Let me deal with that real quickly. Gideon Malheba says, 350 Rand. Thank you, by the way. Thank you for an excellent show, Colonel Wyatt. Thank you to your guests. Your endurance and commitment to us is amazing. Many blessings, 2026. Well, Gideon, for my endurance and my commitment, I get lots of abuse by a bunch of turds on the internet who have no qualifications, experience, or expertise in the matters. It is fascinating what happens on social media. It's not for the weak-willed. I mean, they say Africa's not for sissies, but the internet's definitely not for sissies either. Elke, you were gonna respond to my point about what I just said.
Sorry, sir. Just repeat the question.
What did I say? I don't remember now.
Sorry.
No, it was the Exceptional Family Member Program.
The turds. Yes.
No, not the turds. Exceptional Family Member Program for the military.
Oh, sorry. So I think that's also why they might have put us here. I'm not too sure. It's because of the children. Mm-hmm. I think everywhere in America there's help for people with disabilities and special needs. So I'm really not worried about them going here into school, because there's a program they call IEP for children with disabilities that can't do the the normal curriculum. Yeah. They make a curriculum for them that they can do
a specialized focus.
Yes. So we just need to register with the Clark County And but the caseworker will help us with that and everything, and get them the proper care. And they've got a special bus for those kids, so they will not be going with normal kids on a bus. They will go on a special bus.
Yeah, no, exactly. So Ronaldo Jos has just popped in the chat, and he makes a good point here. He says, if Vegas is a little too hectic for you, look at Henderson. Henderson, of course, is a growing town. Henderson is where Amazon has a massive operation. There are plenty of jobs in Amazon there, so that's a consideration. Henderson also has a minor league hockey team, which is an affiliate of the Las Vegas Golden Knights. So that's just...
Yes, we are looking at Henderson.
Okay.
So the apartments we are getting, it does look like they're going to do a 6 months contract with the agency, because they have to be like co-signers. And then after that, we can like just maybe move. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Like, I don't want to disrupt the children if they're just in school again, and because that alone will be a very a big adjustment for them to go back to school, because I've been homeschooling them since 2021.
Yeah, that will be a bit of a change for them. And
yes, so I don't think I will disrupt them. But Summerlin is a very good area in Las Vegas. I think it's the best area, they said. So we might stay there for a while, or just until they finish school and then move.
So people are asking whether you flew from Cape Town or Joburg. I'm going to guess Joburg, because you went to Newark, I think, to get to Vegas. I could be wrong.
Yes, but it's quite interesting. Some people who were living in Centurion had to fly to Cape Town.
Yep. Again,
to fly out from there.
What I explained with the conversation with Ben and Lynn yesterday is that it has everything to do with your connecting flights. So
yes,
where you're ultimately going, they try to put it in the same carrier, because that's just easier for the government to book and cost them less money. So if Delta can get you to... let's pick a place, Salt Lake City, because they have flights to Salt Lake City.
Yes.
You're going to fly out of Cape Town, most likely on a Delta flight to Atlanta, and then go to Salt Lake City on a Delta flight. If you are going to be on a United flight if you're going to be in the Chicago area, you go from Joburg to Newark to Chicago. It's just the way it works out. So I know for the refugees it makes no sense, but I live in Centurion. Why am I flying from Cape Town? And by the way, you do have to make your own way to those flights. They don't cover that, so you need to know that.
Yes. But even if we had to fly to Cape Town to get out, I will do it with a smile. Really, it's the least of my problems. Just to get out is the best thing that can happen to you. So I will pay that flights with a big smile. Luckily, we do have family there, but we didn't have to fly from Cape Town. We flew from Johannesburg.
So, guys, you didn't leave with millions of rand in your pocket. You had a little bit of cash.
Nope.
So, how are you doing? Did you get any refugee cash assistance? Did they have food available before you arrived? And what's going on with all that?
Okay, so when we arrived, they take us straight to the hotel, and they booked me in. They booked us in under my name, because somewhere in the program they shifted me to be the primary. The primary applicant. So I booked in under my name, and then they already bought groceries for us, and then they just brought it up with us. Then we arrived on the Tuesday. So on the Thursday, they already got the SNAP and the Medicaid activated, and which was a very good thing, because on that Monday I had to go to the Care Now, like an emergency Care Now facility for my breakout, and it was covered. Everything was covered, and then they did the cash assistance also now.
All right, well, that's good. So that's helpful. I mean, because these are the practicalities people have to think about. You've retained a bank account in South Africa, obviously, because you're paying off your loan.
Yes.
All right. You don't have your Social Security number yet, so you haven't been able to get a bank account in Las Vegas, have you?
No. Our caseworker said we must actually just a little bit wait with that. As soon as we, I think she said we must wait with that as soon as we get a job. But I know it's not necessary to deposit money in every month. Some banks don't need deposits every month, but we need money to deposit. So we will probably wait with that. I've got some cash, but not a lot. So we will see when we do that, because we're actually busy with the TANF. They registered us for TANF. So with the TANF, there is some volunteer work you have to do, work some hours per week, and then send your hours in for your cash assistance. which we are starting, I think, on the 12th of Jan, which is actually very good because you get work experience in a different type of industry, like in a shop, where you maybe don't have experience, and then you can also, like, I think, put that on your resume that you did volunteer work there and you get some different skills.
All right, cool beans. So that's interesting. Guys, I really don't want to end this conversation because it's really, I think, very fruitful. I mean, can you stay a little bit longer?
Yes, we can stay.
I've got some impatient people asking me about the news over here. The news is coming, guys. Relax. The world will keep spinning. People will keep murdering each other. Buildings will continue to collapse in South Africa. Thieves will continue to rob, and governments will continue to be nasty thieves and take our taxes away. That doesn't change, but that's coming up, and we're going to talk about the tragedy in Switzerland as well. But I mean, we can just go a little bit longer with this conversation with Tian and Elke, and maybe they feel so comfortable because they're off camera. I don't know. Maybe that helps. Sometimes,
it's definitely maybe because we're off camera. We are camera shy.
Well, it's sometimes it's difficult. People get on camera. I've got to like pull every word out of them. But you guys have been very, very forthcoming, and I appreciate that, guys. Now that you're in America, have you thought about longer term? Plans for the future? Obviously, I mean, I'm talking about your kids are coming of age. They're going to finish school. They're going to be adults. Do you anticipate they'll be staying with you in America rather than moving on their own because of the challenges they face? And also, if you thought about, you guys are in a good spot really for the moment to visit places. The Grand Canyon, the Hoover Dam are not far away from you. Fascinating things, the mountains. I mean, these are all things. I mean, obviously, you don't have the resources to do these things right now, but these are things that down the road, I mean, especially if you start making some decent money, you should be able to do. Have you thought about any of this?
Yes. So my kids will probably stay with us. I'm trying to make them or trying to teach them to be self-efficient, but it takes time because my son doesn't only just have the autism; he has the ADHD. It's a memory loss thing. So he's got actually quite a lot of memory loss. So I teach him things, and then he keeps on forgetting it. So with him, it's a bit of a challenge because he can also not read and write. So I would say he's more, he's worse than his sister, if I can put it like that. So for him, everything will be much more challenging to do everything on his own. But I'm trying them to teach him to maybe lean on each other because together they will get things done if we are not there in the future. So I'm trying to make them to teach them to be self-efficient, help themselves. That's why we bought them phones. I want to teach them how to use the phones. So if there is a emergency, they can call. Because now I will know someone will actually pitch up. Where in South Africa we didn't teach them to use phones because we didn't think any help will come in any case. So, but yeah, I wanted to get them phones so they can start learning how to use the phone. But for phone calls, I don't have them on social media. They will not have that as well. I don't think ever. But if it actually depends on me. But yeah, so in future, I want to take them out. I want them to experience life. And like you said, we're in actually a very great spot for hiking, going to the Grand Canyons. And that's why we're so grateful actually to be here because there's so many things we can do actually in Vegas in the future that and I can teach them more stuff. I can how to put this to experience life more. Because they haven't actually experienced life and they haven't been social a lot, which is not good for them. That's why my hopes are that in school they can maybe become part of like sports or whatever. They have never done this before, but my son is actually good with sports. He played some paddle with his dad. So he's quite good with that. And so maybe in the future we can get them to social more with other kids and just experience life.
Well, that's a good point you make there, Elka, because South Africans tend to disappear into their homes as the sun descends because nothing good happens when the sun goes away in South Africa. And so you become very isolated and insulated from life. And I think the point you're trying to make is now is a chance for your kids to spread their wings and become more socialized and acclimate. And that's important for everyone, but especially for kids who have challenges like autism and Asperger's.
Yes. For them, has been quite challenging because my daughter, she's very, she doesn't want to make friends. She's actually very attached to me, which is a bit of a concern because she must learn to connect, to make other connections. I'm just worried if I'm not there, the day I'm not there, what's going to happen with her if she's not communicating with other people.
Yeah.
If she's not reaching out.
Could be quite traumatic if you don't get to that stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I need to get her to get out and build her confidence with people, especially.
So Tumelo has joined the chat and said, I'm going to be the first black person in this program. Tumelo, I'm sorry to break the news to you, but there are black South Africans who participate in this program already here. I interviewed two of them last week, the children of the Stoltz family, and they're actually motoring their way up the East Coast at this moment. 2 hours into their drive to central Pennsylvania. They'll be up here for the next couple of days. You'll see them on the channel. You'll get to meet the kids again. I'll be broadcasting with them, and I'm going to show them Gettysburg, take them around the battlefield, and also show them central Pennsylvania. And so you won't be the first, but congratulations if you are coming to the program. But there are black folks here, there are Indians, and there are coloreds here. And I actually forgot, I actually interviewed one color family back in the day. I went back and they didn't appear on camera because they were concerned. But I went back through my interviews, my refugees the other day, and I forgot that I actually interviewed a colored family. It's been that hectic. Yeah, so can we hear from the hubby? Well, Helena, he's talked earlier. Were you not listening? Tian, say something. They think you're being held prisoner.
No. Well, the wife is doing all the talking, most women. I like to talk.
I almost spit my tea into my microphone. Go ahead, Tian.
Yeah, it's a big experience for us. Like I said, we never thought, like I said, we're coming to Vegas when my wife broke the news and said, you've got no idea where we're going. And I was like, just say it because America is big. And she's like, no, we're going to Las Vegas. And I was like, really? Is it really a thing? You only see it on TV. So yeah, being out here, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge, but we're enjoying every bit of it. We were lucky when we landed here. They had the cowboy Christmas here. All the people from the rodeo, from all over America. The people come here to do the rodeo, and you just see cowboys. It's the first time we see real cowboys. Not just not just on TV, but yeah, we found it very good over here. The assistance was good. Staying in Vegas is like this. The weather is good. We have a couple of days of rain, but nothing to talk about. The people around here is very, very kind. Everybody, the Uber people we met, people in Walmart. We love Walmart, by the way. It's our new Pick and Pay.
South Africans are killing me. They love Walmart. I'm not a big fan.
No.
We've been to the Walmart in South Africa and it's not the same.
No.
It's really not the same.
Yeah.
The Walmart here is quite different and there's different stuff here. But the one in South Africa was actually a bit boring. We went to the one in Fourways.
Okay. Yeah, that's the first one that opened. Yeah.
Yes. So that was nothing to write home about.
Well, I'm not going to diss Fourways because people hold that against me, but maybe I'll diss the Walmart, but not Fourways. I've spent a fair amount of time in Fourways, so I got to be careful about speaking about Fourways. But I will say this: that damn intersection going over the highway there by Fourways, that's always the outsurance guys out there directing traffic because those lights haven't worked in years. That's such a disaster. Yes. That right there is a perfect statement of what South Africa is and how broken the country is.
Yes. We didn't travel a lot to Fourways if we can help it.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy stuff. Besides, you got to be careful there. Paul Mashatili's motorcade might drive you off the road and beat you senseless and unconscious on the side of the road around there. So
yes.
Yeah. All right, guys. So there was a question here. Someone said, "Hey, Tian, blink twice." Yeah, Yeah, he's off camera. We obviously can't see that. So, all right, let me go ahead. We'll wrap it up here. We'll start with Tian, since he's been soft spoken for a little bit here. Give me your thoughts, your concerns, or recommendations, or advice for other people who are interested in the program, or people not interested in the program. You know, I've told people from the very beginning, because and let me. It's time for me to reiterate this before Tian jumps in here. I have told people from the outset that I do not advocate for anybody coming to America. I also don't oppose it. The program was created. I'm here to give you the truth, the honest truth, the genuine analysis, and predictive analysis. That's my role here. And hopefully a little bit of entertainment along the way to keep you from not losing your minds. But the thing is that a lot of people really get their head wrapped around the axle on this whole program, and there's no need to do that. You need to just focus on what's important for you. And what I said from the outset of this program is that there will be people who will never leave South Africa. There will always be Afrikaners and Boers in South Africa. That's who they are. That's where that culture was created. They will always be there. There may be a few of them in the short term because people are leaving, but they'll always be there. No one should criticize people for staying, and no one should criticize anybody for leaving. You know, I heard this nonsense about cowards leaving the country, but how do you think Afrikaners and Boers came about? They weren't magically sprung up in the Western Cape or in the Highveld. They're a culture that developed from people who fled for religious persecution in France, people who fled from the Netherlands for economic persecution, and from people from Germany and elsewhere who went to the southern tip of Africa, formed a community together, and then mixed and merged with others, and eventually became the people they were. So do not criticize people who leave, because people have to make a decision that's most important for themselves and their family. And here's a case here where Tian and Elke had to make a decision in the best interest of their children, which is what many families do. And if you're a single person, if you're living in misery, if you're hiding behind walls, if you're uncomfortable, if you've been maltreated and you decide to do this, that's on you. That's your choice. And no one should criticize you for that. By the same token, I don't want to hear any bad mouthing about people who stay behind. It's their right, it's their privilege, it's their home. If they want to stay behind and deal with the mess that is South Africa, I encourage them and I wish them the very best. Okay, Tian, your turn. Thoughts, recommendations, concerns, advice for people.
Yeah, the first advice is, if you make the choice coming here, you must know what you sign up for. And as soon as you sign up for it, the big thing in this whole thing is patience. What helped us a lot is when my wife first started in February, when we signed up and all that stuff, we put it aside and we carry on living. We didn't think about it every day, because I think it will make you it will make you sick, and we didn't start to sell that stuff. We just carry on. As soon as we get, after it was 4 months.
Yes.
About 4 months, yeah. Then we had only our first interview call. And then from there it starts nerve-wracking, and then you start. But for the first 4 months, we carry on living. We went to work, and then we put it in the application, and we live with like every day, like normal. And after they start calling us, then we start to get the stuff in. Then we start, as listen here, the second interview went well, the third one went well. Now we start to basically go and say, right, we start to get rid of this, we get rid of this, let's start to get small and small and small, and with all the way work, and it works perfectly for us. On the day, we had 10 days basically that we lived at my friend, and in the 10 days we flew. Everything was basically perfect. We sorted out debt, the work, the people that we work with information level, we're closing down, and yeah, well, we didn't give them any reasons, but yeah, it was nerve-breaking. It's a big change. It's not just hey, we jump on a plane with your kids and go to a different place. You don't know what you can expect. You know how the people say, like, you get there, you're not going to be mistreated. Don't, if you're going to get that in your mind, you're going to, before you get to America, you're going to be negative landing in this country. You must come to expect everything that comes. You must accept it. And from God's grace, everything when we landed here was just perfect. They took care of us, everything. We never expected to stay in a place like this. We never expected the people that pick us up on time, where we have to go, get us safe, drive us safe, meeting the people that work with us, or the communities. Really, everybody's helpful. And the first thing they said to you, you can be safe now. You don't have to worry about anything. And really, they, well, for staying here for almost 3 weeks, we haven't experienced anything from people dissing us, or everybody's so kind around us and making living around us. So it's actually not real living here, to be honest. Everybody says Vegas is a big place, and it's like all the casinos, but you must just make it work. And that if that's your first experience, if you want to come here with your stuff, you must make it work. You must put negative out of it. If you put positive in it, you will definitely make it.
All right. Well, thank you, Tian. That's awesome. Gosh, we couldn't get him to talk for an hour, but then he just talked on and on there.
Thank you. No, when I get to going, you're going.
It's like a Model T. It's hard to crank the engine, but once you get it going, he keeps going. All right. Thank you for that, Tian. Elke, your final thoughts as we get ready to wrap up.
Yes. So yeah, the waiting, it can be stressful. For me, it was quite stressful, and since I'm impatient, that didn't go well for me. But we did do our. But this was only after they contacted us. When we put our statement in, we actually forgot about it because we didn't think they will phone us. But yeah, just keep patient. If you got your provisional approval, I don't think from there they will actually not let you fly. Except if they pick up something that you didn't disclose to them. This is another thing I just quickly wanted to add. So my husband had there was a case against him, and we gave in all the papers, but he was never arrested, and the case was actually thrown out of court. We disclosed everything to the officers, the UICIS, where the first interview, where they take all your documents to scan it in. So we gave them everything, and they didn't even phone us back to get more detail, because I gave them all the paperwork that was related to that case. So just be honest, really, really honest, and just articulate well what your fears are, and when you actually with not too much time, you will actually you will see that you are here, and then it will be worth it. For me, it was absolutely worth it. There's no negative. I don't feel negative about anything. This is the best choice I could have made for my kids, because now they have a future.
Sorry about that. I was just dealing with the message here. Okay, cool beans. All right. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's great to hear. Appreciate it. Guys, I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you for agreeing to come on the program. Maybe, I don't know, a few months down the road, if you want to come on camera, we can do that. If not, we can do an anonymous one again like this. Yeah. Let's just remember that we called you Tian and Elke so we don't confuse people.
No, it's fine. I will remember, sir.
I probably won't. I interview so many people. I forgot to interview a colored couple. I felt bad about that. Good Lord. Yes, we remember Ake Edgerman. Yeah, we remember that, Julie. Remember that, Steve Hofmeyer. Anyway. So guys, thank you so much, and I wish you a prosperous, safe, and healthy New Year. And I really hope that your kids get a chance to blossom and get comfortable and experience life, and come out of their shell. That'll be really good for them. And you guys are fantastic for coming on the program. Thank you for your answers, for your time, for your Darth Vader voice there, Tian. That was interesting at one point.
Thank you so much.
We enjoyed that. And to everyone out there, we do these programs. So that people get a better appreciation for what's going on. There is so much misinformation, disinformation, lying politicians. We've heard Ronald Lamola say that this is a white supremacist program because it's only for white South Africans. You have to be an Afrikaner. That's a lie. We've proven that time and time again, and I will prove that again tomorrow with a live broadcast with the Stoltz family, and you will see that if it's only for white people, then their kids have got themselves quite an incredible tanning salon because they're not exactly white. Anyway, I'm telling you. Anyway, guys, I'll let you drop off. I've got to do the news. A lot of people waiting for that. Probably wondering where the heck the news is at, but the news is coming up shortly. And be well, and thanks for reaching out. I love Vegas to visit. I don't know if I'd be able to live there. I mean, probably could, but I love Vegas. There's a lot of advantages to Vegas and to Nevada in general when it comes to taxation and quality of life and such.
Yes.
And I hope you guys get to enjoy that while you adjust. So thank you very much, and God bless, and be well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, girl. Keep well.
All right, guys, I'll let you drop off, and I'm going to wrap it up and then do the news. Okay, so I'll get them out of there. Okay. Oh, they found it on their own. Well done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tian and Elka out in Las Vegas. Vegas, baby! Vegas, yeah. What stays in Vegas? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? I don't know if that's true, but certainly interesting place to say the very least, Las Vegas and Nevada in general. 97% of the state, the area, surface area of the state of Nevada is owned by the government. 97%. Not much space for you to buy out there, folks. Most of the state belongs to the federal and state government. Interesting to know. It's unusual in that respect. Anyway, guys, we'll be back with the news in just a couple minutes. I need about a 2-minute break, so you'll be automatically redirected to the news, so you don't have to go anywhere. You can stretch your legs, get yourself a refreshment, come back, and I'll be back with the news in just a couple minutes. We went long because it was of interest to people, and the guests were interesting. All right. I want to thank for people who are well-behaved in the chat, and I appreciate that. Let's be polite to each other in the chat, not attack people. Some people are defending me, and I appreciate that. But don't pile on. We don't need a whole bunch of people doing that. It turns people off. If people misbehave in the chat, the moderators will take care of that. Okay, let them deal with it. Okay, and if my moderators let me down, then they'll be fired. I mean, from their high-paying jobs. Oh wait, I don't pay them, so they won't be fired. All right. No, you can't get married in Las Vegas without knowing about it. You have to sign some paperwork. All right. Guys, thanks a lot. We'll see you shortly with the news. God bless. And to my guests, my profound thanks for coming on from Vegas. The first interview I've done with people in Vegas, but there's a lot of refugees out there. These are the first ones come on camera. So, all right. Cheers, everybody. God bless.